Welcome to the Urban Legends channel, the place where shadows from the past come to life and whispers of the unknown echo in your mind. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and like this video for more stories that will keep you up at night. Today we dive into a dark legend from France, the forgotten voices of the Paris Catacombs. Get ready for a narrative of terror, suspense, and intense emotion that will grip you from start to finish. Imagine reading this aloud, with tense music in the background. Let's begin. It was a rainy autumn night in Paris, in the year 2023. The City of Lights shone brightly above, with its towers and avenues illuminated, but below the surface, in the depths of the catacombs, absolute darkness reigned. My name is Elise, a 28-year-old American historian obsessed with mysteries of the past. I had traveled to France in search of answers about my ancestry. My grandmother, who had recently passed away, always told stories about our family fleeing the French Revolution, leaving behind secrets buried in the city's bowels. "The catacombs hold more than bones, ma chérie," she whispered with eyes full of fear. I laughed at the time, but now, alone on that trip, I felt an inexplicable shiver. I decided to explore the catacombs illegally. The guided tours were superficial, full of tourists with cell phone flashes. I wanted the real thing, the forbidden. I hired an underground guide named Pierre, a thin and taciturn man with scars on his face, who promised to take me to the forgotten tunnels. "Be careful, mademoiselle," he warned in a hoarse accent. "Some who enter never come out. The voices, they call." I ignored it, thinking it was just folklore to impress. We paid for a clandestine entry through a rusty grate in a dark alley in the Montparnasse neighborhood and descended. The air was damp and cold, like the breath of an open grave. Our lanterns cut through the darkness, revealing walls stacked with human skulls and bones, millions of them, remnants from ancient mines and overcrowded cemeteries of the 18th century. The smell of mold and decay permeated everything. We walked in silence, the echo of our footsteps like the beats of an anxious heart. Pierre told legends, souls of the guillotined during the revolution, wandering in search of revenge, lost miners still digging in the shadows. I laughed nervously, but my heart raced. After an hour, we reached a forbidden section where the tunnels narrowed like the veins of a dying body. "This is where the voices begin," Pierre murmured, stopping in front of an inscription on the wall. "Arrête, c'est ici l'Empire de la Mort." Stop, here is the Empire of Death. A chill ran through me. Suddenly, I heard a distant whisper like wind carrying unintelligible words. "Did you hear that?" I asked, my voice trembling. Pierre shook his head, but his eyes were wide. We continued, but the path forked into increasingly confusing labyrinths. That's when the panic started. My lantern flickered and went out. "Low battery," I said, switching to a spare, but Pierre stopped abruptly. "Listen," he whispered. Now the whispers were clear, voices in ancient French, moaning names, begging for help. "Marie, Antoine, aidez-nous." My stomach churned. Were they hallucinations? Thin air? Pierre grabbed my arm. "We have to go back, this isn't normal." But when we turned, the passage behind us had changed, or so it seemed. The bone walls appeared to move, skulls turning as if watching us. We ran, but the tunnels swallowed us. Pierre slipped in a puddle of fetid water and fell, twisting his ankle. "Go without me," he shouted. I hesitated, my heart breaking with emotion. He was a stranger, but his pain was real, echoing my own loneliness after my grandmother's death. I helped him up, but the voices grew louder, now screaming accusations. "Traître! Bourreau! Traitor! Executioner!" Suddenly, a figure emerged in the dim light. An ethereal silhouette dressed in 18th century rags, with a red scar on its neck, as if guillotined. My blood froze. The apparition floated, empty eyes fixed on us. Pierre screamed in terror, and I dragged him into a side niche, hiding behind a pile of femurs. The air grew colder, as if death itself enveloped us. "Why did you come?" The figure's voice echoed in my mind, not my ears. I closed my eyes, tears streaming. I remembered my grandmother. On her deathbed, she confessed that our ancestor was an executioner during the revolution, responsible for hundreds of deaths. "The blood haunts us," she said. Was this it? A family curse? The whispers multiplied, dozens of voices now telling stories of pain, mothers separated from children, lovers executed, innocents condemned. Each word was an emotional blade, slicing my soul. I felt the ancestral guilt suffocating me, as if I were the guilty one. Pierre wept beside me, murmuring prayers. "They want justice," he said. I tried to reason. It was hypoxia, panic induced by the darkness. But then the figure approached, extending a skeletal hand. I touched it instinctively, and visions flooded me. Executions in the Place de la Concorde, crowds thirsty for blood, the smell of iron and fear. I screamed, breaking the trance. Pierre and I fled, stumbling over bones that seemed to rise like living barriers. The voices pursued us, echoing louder, now calling my name. "Elise!" Redemption! Redemption! My chest ached with emotion, fear mixed with deep sadness for the lost souls. We reached an ancient well, black water at the bottom. Pierre slipped again, falling to the edge. "Hold on!" I shouted, extending my hand, but the shadows moved, pulling him down. His eyes filled with dread as he vanished into the abyss, his scream echoing like an eternal lament. Alone now, I ran blindly, tears blurring my vision. The catacombs seemed alive, walls closing in, bones grinding like teeth. I found a rusty ladder and climbed, scraping my hands on sharp stones. I emerged in an abandoned cemetery, the rain washing my dirty face. I looked back. The entrance had vanished, as if it never existed. My cell phone, miraculously with signal, called the police. They found me hours later, dehydrated and delirious. Pierre? They never found him. Officially, he disappeared in an accident. But I know the truth. The voices still echo in my dreams, begging for redemption. I returned to the US, but France changed me. Now I research tirelessly about my lineage, seeking ways to appease the spirits. If you descend into the catacombs, listen carefully. They might call you too. And there you have it, folks, from Urban Legends. Did this story give you chills? Based on real reports from explorers who swear they've heard voices in the depths of Paris. Is it legend or truth? Tell us in the comments. Would you explore the catacombs? What French legend do you want to hear next? Like if you felt the suspense, subscribe for more thrilling terrors and turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. Thanks for watching, and remember, the shadows are always lurking. See you next time.